Many thanks for staying with us, and of course it's about time for us now to launch into our discussion segment this morning. And of course we'll be looking at the insecurity issue, especially in the southwestern region of Ondo State, where no fewer than 2 students have been declared missing in the last 2 weeks in a state-owned university called Adekunle Ajasin University in Akungba, Akoko. All effort, as it were, have been proved abortive as regards ascertaining the exact location where these 2 students are. And of course, no one knows if they are alive. But of course, what is the security situation in Ondo State? What is the security agency's position on this situation? Of course, what is the school authority saying? What lessons can parents who have kids either in that school or about enrolling in that school would learn, especially with the situation of things, so as to avert a future occurrence of such ugly situation? We have a guest right here in the person of Chief Solomon Chukwu, who is an APC chieftain, who will be giving us his perspective on the matter. Good morning, Chief, and thank you so much.
Good morning, my guys.
Now, the issue of insecurity in Ondo State is not something that is new to us. In fact, this reminds me of a certain attack that happened on the 5th of June 2025, where no fewer than 40 persons lost their life in Owo Church in Ondo State. Now we're having somewhat that looks like a disappearance. No one knows if it's a kidnap issue of 2 students. As a parent who is concerned about children schooling in that particular university, what's your reaction as regards that?
First and foremost, I would say thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
And good morning, Nigeria. For me, the security situation in Nigeria, not just Ondo State, it's not something anybody wants to be proud of. But I strongly believe the room for improvement is the biggest room. The security, men and women, they are working and trying their best they can within the situation and the environment they find themselves. But as a parent, I only have one advice. Our children should mind who they go out with. And our children should be conscious of the environment, because security is everybody's business. It's not just security agency business, it's the business of everybody, including ourselves. Even yourself as a person, when you want to cross road, you need to be conscious of the road and you need to be conscious of the environment. So I strongly believe, I'm not pointing accusing finger on anybody, neither the children or the school authority, not the parents, but I strongly believe there's a lot to be done, not just on the security agency, but on the whole cycle, from the parents to the children to the school authority and to the security agency, the police, and the rest of it. There's need for improvement.
Now, while we look at, the room, as it were, as a bigger, area when it comes to improvement, all efforts by the parents and, of course, co-students who already know these guys have proved abortive. Their lines have not been reached. Of course, there has been no ascertained location where these guys are right now, because obviously, given the GPRS tracking device, you should be able to know where a particular person is. But none of these have been, confirmed. So what's your take as regards this? Is it a case of a disappearance, or what exactly is the situation?
I call it a case of disappearance. Some time ago in Ebonyi State, in a federal government college, something similar to this happened, where 3 students went out with, in a company of other students, to a nearby bush within the school compound for court initiation. And those who came back could not stay up to date what happened to their 2 of their colleagues who didn't return. Until after about a month or 2 months, the body was found decay in a nearby river. So it's only then they begin to put 1 or 2 together. That is a court initiation. Probably going through the delay and then they couldn't make it. So it happens. Remember that a few days ago we just have 7/7, which is a date known for court activities and initiation. I'm not saying that is what happens to them, but we shouldn't leave anything unturned.
All right. Thank you so much, Chief Solomon, for that nice input. You know, a case, something like this has happened before it has been happening, you know, reoccurring insecurity in the country or in some states in the country. You know, in July 2024, something like this happened. A 300 level student was fatally shot by a gunman, and you know they've been attacking several hostels in schools. You know, your child is in school. As a parent, you're scared what's going to happen in the next minutes. Even the students in school, they are not settled. They're scared what's going to be the next thing. Of course, now those children, now those students, they are missing. Nobody know where they are, if they are kidnapped, if they've been used for rituals. Because let's look at it this way: if they're being kidnapped, the kidnapper would have reached out a long time ago, you get. But at this point, we've not heard from them. The question now is, how can, you know, the reoccurring of insecurity has been happening in this country. How can the government tackle this issue of reoccurring insecurity in the country? And what do you think is the root cause of the risk of rising insecurity in this country? Why does it keep reoccurring in this country?
I strongly believe it's not just the job of the security men alone. We as parents have a lot to do.
Okay.
We need to know who are our children going out with. From primary school to secondary school, we need to identify who are their friends. What is the history of those children in school? What are the antecedents in the school? So that as they progress in your high institutions, you could really tell who your child is. And if possible, give orientation that crime and courtesan does not pay. Because we see today in Lagos where children in primary schools are members of court group. And all those things are things they took from child, and before they get to adult, they see it as a way of life. And again, I think the society also needs to balance it. Celebrate those who need to be celebrated and condemn things that need to be condemned. Gone are those days where a child will come home with something valuable that the parents know they didn't buy for him. And you say, take it back to wherever you see it. But today, we hear people making jokes with it, that parents buy laptops for their children and take them to so-called Yahoo boys to teach them how to be a Yahoo man. So that is the level that the society have gotten into. They celebrate success, as they call it,
So
irrespective of where it's coming from.
So now you're trying to say that the parents had a lot of work to do.
Sure.
All right, now let's look at this issue. Now, the sad part about this is that the school authority have not said anything about it. The police who were reached are saying they should calm down, that perhaps they might have gone on vacation. What do you make out of this statement?
You know, police security issues are not things you come out to say this is where I've got into, this is what I've found, until you conclude the investigation. So for police keeping silent, I'm not taking side for them, but I want to believe they are doing something. And for the school authority, every school have their own system. But I strongly believe the school should be able to communicate to the parents and to the Nigerians what have happened to those children and the way last they saw them. Because every school should have a security post where every student going out should register where he's going to.
Yeah.
And when it comes back, they should register and back. So we should go to the school portal and know the last place the children was seen, maybe within the school or outside the school. Even the hostel where they live within the school. If they live outside the school, they have gone out today, but they never came back to school the next day. So those things should be taken into consideration. And again, those we make chancellor and vice chancellors and the admin head and the faculty head in school, we should also do a background check on them. you should take whatever position you find. Every position you find yourself comes with responsibilities. So if a man or a woman is not meeting, is not living up to his expectation of his responsibility as the head of a department in school, the next door should be shown to him or her.
Now, talking about the role, a vice chancellor of a university should play, especially with regards to security of his or her students in that particular school. Now, what negative impact does this have on the name of that school, given the fact that there is a case that has been established of 2 missing students for the past 2 weeks, and the school is not saying anything about it? What indication is this giving to the school?
It's a pure case of failure in that aspect on the part of the vice chancellor or the school authority in general. Because if you have a company, if you're appointed to head any establishment, you should see it as an enterprise. There must be a system to check in the going in and coming out of every student and even the lecturers or visitors to the school. So if those ones are not there, that's an indictment.
Now, this is not a privately owned university. It's a state-owned university. So what is the state government doing in this case?
I just said it. There is a two-door to every establishment, in and out. The governor have the power of hire and fire. So if the vice chancellor or whosoever that we find wanting in this case should be shown the door out.
All right, Chief Solomon, thank you so much. How do you think the government can work more closely with local communities and vigilantes groups, without encouraging lawlessness?
Regarding to this school missing children?
Yes.
I think first the school need to do their own part first. The school authority need to know how many students they have.
Okay.
They have a pure record of it. We live in a digital world today. A click of button as a vice chancellor you should know. And the men at the gate, they should have a portal that link each other. When anybody going out, you log in. If you are coming in, you are going out, you log out. All those school ID cards should now be automated. Whereby if you log in, they know when you came into the school. When you are going out, you log out.
All right, thank you very much. You made mention earlier about parents playing a huge role in all these aspects, but there are some children or there are some students, in the house, their parents, tell them, oh, cultism is bad. They know these things. And what about in a situation whereby I believe that sometimes peer pressure, influence, and there are some children or there are some students, the parents talk to them about this particular thing. It's not good, but you still want to do it. Your parents as a child would advise you in the house, of course, before going to school. Cultism is bad, this is bad. Focus on your studies, focus on your book. But this child still go to school and, peer pressure and all of that. What do you have to say about that?
You see, I'm a parent. I have 3 of my children in university now.
Okay.
And I will tell you, while they were in secondary school, I have caused to change schools for my children. When I realized that the school are not doing enough, when I realized that my children begin to mingle with those they shouldn't associate with, and when I complained to the school authority, they're not doing anything about it. So I have the right to take my children out of those schools. So parents who believe that the children are given to him or her to take care of, and whatever they become in the future is liable. You need to take a decision to make sure you get it right.
All right, now we are coasting home, so in less than 1 minute, what's your last word for parents whose children might be in that particular school called Adekunle Ajasi University?
Yeah.
For me, I think we need to take it from the head. The chancellor or the vice chancellor, whatever name they call themselves, should be held responsible. The security agency should start from the school authority. Not the kind of, what are the security measures they put to checkmate the student movement.
Okay. Thank you.
So from there, the parents will now know what next to do. Whether to see the children there, if they are safe or not, take them out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Chief Solomon Chukwu, for giving us your perspective on this matter. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And that's our offering for you right here in Lagos. And of course, we'll be handing you over now to our Benin Network studio for the rest of the program. Do stay.